Hello and welcome to the Gamers Watch podcast. My name is Harry and as always, I'm joined by Shaun.
Hey, howdy hey.
Oh, fuck off. That's got to be the intro that we go with. So, thank you all for joining us again for episode 13. Before we start the show, just wanted to say thank you to all 1,000 listeners of our show. We hit that just before episode 12 dropped, so thank you very much to everybody. If you enjoy this show, what we would really appreciate is a review on either our iTunes page or on our Podchaser. They really help us sort of get up the rankings. And if you really do like the podcast enough that you tune in every week, we'd love for you to share it with someone. I'm going to challenge everybody to share it with... Who should we share it with? Their vicar. Yeah, share it with your vicar. I'm sure they'll enjoy it.
They will love every second.
Yeah, and they'll bring it up at the next, what do they call it? Church?
Sermon.
Gathering? Sermon. They'll bring it up at the next sermon and they'll say, and lo, Harry came to us and said, this one time I shit my pants. And then everybody at the church will listen. So please do share it with your vicars this week.
Gamers Watch loves Jesus.
Yes, it does. You know, we love all fairy tales from any ethnicities and any religions. So next week, share it with your rabbi. Let's move on to Xbox news because we've got some bangers this week, haven't we, Shaun?
Oh, yes.
So I'm going to quickly run through the week of Xbox that we've had since episode 12. So, first one's first. MLB The Show 2021 is coming to Game Pass day one. We've got 50 new xCloud games announced, including Grand Theft Auto 5 being compatible with touch screen controls. B&O headset has been announced as a specialist Xbox-centric high-performance audio headset, I think is the official term that they called it.
That is
what
a
it
mouthful.
What it basically is a £500 headset of awesomeness. Now, even more sports games on Game Pass. NHL 21 and FIFA 21 have joined the ranks, as well as Football Manager 21, NBA 2K21, Madden NFL 21, also on Game Pass. The place to be for sports. Witcher 3 is getting an XS upgrade via smart delivery. Watch Dogs Legions is getting a 60 FPS update. Dying Light 2 is getting a 60 FPS, 4K and ray tracing update. And Outriders launched on the 1st of April, and I'll be talking about that later. And breathe. So Shaun.
Yes.
Kick us off.
Okay, well, we'll start with probably the most out of left field one, which was MLB The Show coming to Game Pass day one.
Did not see that.
I never thought that would happen. I mean, I'm not an MLB fan, but
I'll play it.
But I know that, yeah, I'll give it a try. But I know that MLB The Show was like one of Sony's big sports games.
It's also known as one of the best sports simulation games.
Yeah, I've heard it's really well made.
The actual mechanics of it are fantastic. Graphically, it looks fantastic as well. And it's a Sony-developed game. But here's the thing. Sony didn't actually know it was coming to Game Pass because MLB are they're the publishers. And MLB went to Xbox about having it on their system. Xbox paid a bit of money. And it's releasing on Game Pass. Sony had no say in it. Sony have now come out and said it was a Disney decision to put MLB The Show on the Xbox.
When did Disney buy the MLB?
I don't know. Sony. I think
they said it was an
MLB.
They said it was MLB choice, wasn't it?
I think that Disney own the MLB.
I don't think Disney own Major League Baseball. I'm going to search this quickly while we're talking about this because that's insane.
I think they own the rights to it, maybe.
They own the Fox network, so they might own the rights to like air it if Fox has like exclusive.
MLB specific properties such as MLB.com would remain under the league control. However, MLB itself has been purchased by Disney. So yeah. There we go.
Why do Disney own baseball?
I don't know. They own fucking everything. What I do quite like is that Microsoft are currently being called the Disney of gaming because they're just like, oh, I like Bethesda, buy them. And that's what Disney have been doing for fucking years. But I did not see this coming at all.
No, I never thought that sort of thing would happen. Like a very...
I'm slightly baffled.
Very concrete Sony-only sort of game going to Game Pass.
I mean, it's a bold move by Xbox, certainly, especially, Phil, who's been smashing it out of the park recently, bringing another third-party game day one to Game Pass, and it being a Sony-developed game is pretty fucking huge, to be honest.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's probably the biggest news of this week. One thing I just would like to say is that one thing that I've seen quite a lot on Twitter over the last week is a lot of angry PlayStation fans.
I wouldn't have been able to tell from the notifications of replies I keep getting on my phone.
The thing is I can understand why they're pissed off, because this could be the perfect opportunity for Sony to just say, I'll tell you what, let's put it on PlayStation now. But they haven't done that. So that is a bit of a slap in the face. And I don't care what your thoughts are on Game Pass. Sony need to do something to keep up with the trend that Game Pass is setting at the moment, because, people watch their movies online. They don't own DVDs or Blu-rays really anymore. They don't own or buy CDs. They stream through Apple or Spotify, and Microsoft are just giving people another option, and Sony are a little bit behind on that. So hopefully, as with everything, competition breeds success. Hopefully this makes Sony step up, and then everybody just gets a better slice of that.
Well, the head
offering.
The head of Sony, I think it was Sony America, did say a little while ago around about the launch, or I think it was like the new year, said that they've got plans for like their answer to Game Pass, but they won't be revealed just yet. So I imagine you'll hear something at some point through the year. I would say it would be at E3, now that E3 is confirmed to be like a proper thing.
Sony aren't at E3.
Yeah, a proper thing this year rather than the drip feed that was last summer. But yeah, Sony's the only people that are not at E3 this year.
Which is a shame.
Yeah.
Because honestly, this was a big opportunity for Sony to say, you know what, guys, bang, here we go.
I'm guessing they'll do their own state of play thing, but it'll be like a couple of days before E3 to like steal the headlines sort of thing.
But that doesn't matter, because E3 is E3, and even as much as a cynical fuck as I am, I love E3. I think it's fantastic. And so Sony are missing out big time. Imagine if their big thing was that they came out at this E3 and said, you know what, we've got our own Game Pass. Every first party Sony game, day one, this is what's going to happen, that's what's going to happen. It's all going to be wrapped in and bundled in. Bang, there you go. So I think they're missing a trick there.
I would subscribe to PlayStation Game Pass, I'm just going to call it, in an instant.
Well, especially considering the rumour, and this is our next bit of news, that Battlefield 6 could be coming day one to Game Pass, which again is a third-party developer putting their game on Game Pass day one. That could be massive.
Yeah.
EA putting a game out that historically has sold fantastically well straight on Game Pass day one. That would just be ridiculous.
EA and Microsoft are getting very cozy together now.
They are.
More and more keeps happening between them, because obviously with EA Play becoming part of Game Pass, and now we're getting day one stuff on Game Pass. Not even EA Play, Game Pass.
Yeah, they're not even putting it onto EA Play, are they? They're just putting things on Game Pass.
No.
It's insane. I mean, I don't want to sound like we're just bashing Sony, but they have to answer to this, and they have the studios and they have the weight and the money behind them to do something like this. They need to answer this before Sony become what Xbox One was last generation. I don't think it'll be anywhere near that bad, because clearly the PS5 is a fucking amazing console.
Yeah.
And it's got a really good list of games coming up.
Yeah.
And it's also got a back catalogue of developers and titles and IPs that it could just be like Last of Us 3, bang, and just be a bestseller straight away. So there's a lot good going for Sony, but there is a market they need to tap into.
Yeah, Microsoft.
The reason that I went with Xbox this generation was because of Xbox All Access. That's the only reason that I got an Xbox Series X, was purely because of All Access. And having that library of 300 games from day one, bang, that was the seller for me. Yeah,
Microsoft's problem last gen was that they focused on TV and entertainment instead of games, whereas Sony is still heavily games focused. So I think they'll go one of two routes. They'll either carry on like they are, but like double down. So they'll basically be focusing on like the blockbuster games, as much as I hate the word blockbuster.
Yeah.
And it will literally be two completely different consoles. So Xbox is like your typical, you consume most of your games on there, like you would with Netflix or Disney Plus, and then PlayStation will be like when you occasionally buy a Blu-ray of a game you really like, sort of thing. Yeah,
the thing is I hope that it isn't that way for Sony, because they can't just rely on their first-party studios, considering that Microsoft are inhaling studios at the moment. That they can't rely on that.
I don't know. I still think they'll survive with that easily. Because I mean,
they'll survive. I just don't think that they'll grow as fast as Microsoft are, and I think that's a focus that Sony needs to look at. Is that Game Pass shouldn't be competition that's going to steal market away from them. It should be competition to drive them to do something better. Look at the difference between Outriders on Xbox and on PlayStation. On PS5, you have to pay $70 or £75 to play it, and on Xbox, you get it with your Game Pass subscription that you could get, if you're Tom, for £1.
Well,
which one are you going to go for?
I can see them trying to do an answer in the way of like third-party developers, but it wouldn't surprise me if they didn't do anything first-party wise, because they do make enough to live off that sort of thing. Because I mean, like as much as I play Xbox way more at the moment because of Game Pass, my favourite franchises and games, like at the very top of my list, are still PlayStation games.
Sony.
Yeah, like Ratchet and Clank, which I want.
It's not long, Shaun, don't worry, it's not long.
And Pokemon Snaps this month.
It is, and also one thing that I did want to just quickly announce is that we've got some awesome plans for a Pokemon special. Striblob, Tom, is going to be coming back, we hope. And we've also got a surprise YouTube guest as well that we're going to sort of keep hush-hush in case things don't work out and then we look really embarrassing. But we've got some plans for Pokemon coming up.
If it don't work out, they can be a sponsor.
Coincide. Yeah, I mean, we can tweet them. You know, we'll be like, hey, at Pokemon, please sponsor our podcast because Michael Barrymore's sent us a cease and desist.
After having his name cleared, thanks to us.
Yeah. So, some really good Game Pass news and also just generally some really good Xbox news. Should we move on to the glum news, Shaun?
Yeah, let's revisit this coffin once more.
Shaun, tell the people the glum news.
CD Projekt Red have cancelled Cyberpunk multiplayer. Well, standalone multiplayer.
What I'm just going to do, just for a second, is I'm going to reenact one of my favourite scenes from Community. Okay, so I'm going to get myself into Jeff's role. Okay, so I don't want to say I told you so. So I'm going to shout it through cupped hands. I told you so. Obviously this was going to happen. Cyberpunk is a fucking mess from top to bottom. It is a shit show. It was so badly managed. It was in production for 9 years. It launched broken. 1.2 has come out and it's fucking shite. They haven't fixed anything, yet they've fixed millions of things. And yet, the game still doesn't run properly. Some people, their game now, all the weather all the time is a giant sandstorm and they can't see anything. There's now a new bug called finger guns, where instead of guns, an extra hand pops out and just points a finger at people and shoots them with a finger.
Oh my god.
We've got multiple game-breaking bugs. AI still isn't fixed. There still isn't police chases. There still isn't traffic AI. There still isn't NPC AI. There is nothing about this game that works from top to bottom as a complete unit. The Xbox One and PS4 versions of this game can't even run at 25 frames a second consistently. This game is fucking broken. And not only have CDPR said that they're going to cancel their standalone multiplayer, they got a €7 million grant from the Polish government 3 years ago to build a multiplayer game. This game is poison. If anybody likes this game, hats off to you, because man, this game sucks. I'm baffled that people still defend this title. That they can sit there and they can know that staff went through inhumane conditions, were crunching 80-hour weeks, were forced to delay the game and get death threats, that the fans of the game sent literal flashing videos to epileptic journalists because they didn't like that they said bad things. Man, this game needs to get off the face of the planet. It's been over 100 days and it still isn't on the Sony store, and the fact that another section of this game is being cancelled shows you one thing. CDPR, they ain't all what they said they would be. And I want us to say something very loudly and very clearly. I told everybody this days before the game was launching, that it was going to be broken. And guess what? We're 6 months later and it's still broken. So that about wraps up my feelings quite nicely for Cyberpunk.
Can we put the last nail in this now?
Yeah, I think we can.
Until their next gen version comes out and it's just as broken, and then we open it all over again.
Oh man, the next gen version apparently, according to Forbes, may not even come out now.
Yeah, I saw that. I'll wait until it's officially like cancelled. If it does get
CDPR
cancelled,
are
but...
rumoured to have wiped their hands clean of this turgid mess. And I really hope that they do. And I feel sorry for every developer that was made to work their fingers to the bone during a pandemic because some corporate asshole in Poland didn't want to delay a game further and didn't want to piss off shareholders. I'm done with Cyberpunk, and I hope everybody else is. So, should we move on to Game Pass or Play?
Yeah!
Yay! So we've got some cool games to talk about this week. I played Octopath Traveler, and Shaun, what did you play?
I played Undertale.
Now, I know that you didn't get to play a massive amount of Undertale, so do you want to talk about your experience first, and then I'll talk about Octopath?
I can do, yeah.
So how much Undertale did you play?
I got a couple hours in. I'd say 3 hours, probably.
Thoughts?
Oh, how do I describe it? I think it's probably my least favourite game I've played so far for the podcast. But
really?
But I'm not angry, hate it. It's just sad. I just couldn't get into it. I was bored the whole time, sort of thing. So I wasn't annoyed at the game, but I was just playing it
I knew that this would be hit and miss with you, to be honest.
But yeah, I was playing it just why do I not like this?
Can you understand why people might like it?
I can see the niche. I don't know what is it, niche parts of it. But some of the things that people praise, like the humour, I thought was a bit too felt forced sometimes. Like the skeleton that just says puns all the time.
Papyrus. I love Papyrus.
But no, it was his brother, wasn't it? Called Sans.
Oh, Sans.
Yeah, because his font is a Sans font in the text. But yeah, it was just, I don't know. Or maybe I didn't mind the puns, but it was like when it would do the whole zoom in and the drum noise thing, as if the developers did you get that pun? Did you see that there was a pun there? It's like, yep, got it. It was clear as day.
What did you think of the combat?
And the combat, I thought that was actually really good and genius.
I want to ask you a question. Did you kill the enemies?
Some of them. Some I did mercy, and then some I would kill because I was trying.
Here's the
to
reason
dabble
why
in everything.
I love Undertale. The reason that I love Undertale so much, and I do think that maybe if you get the chance to play a couple more hours, you should do, because the story is a really sweet story. But the thing that I like the most about it is actually the ending to the game. So there's lots of different endings to Undertale, and I went through the first game and I mercied everybody, so I didn't kill a single person. And man, that took a long time. But the thing that I like the most about it is when you get to the end of the game, it praises you for it. However, if you got to the end of the game in your run, you would see every enemy that you had killed, and they would be dead, and there would be ghosts of them. So there's a type of run in this game, and it's basically called the sadomasochist run, and it means that you kill absolutely everything. And the story of the monster that they keep talking about in the game is you. So you're sort of reenacting the story without even realising it. So it's a very niche game, but I'm glad you at least enjoyed the combat, because that was my favourite bit of the game.
Yeah, I thought the combat was really good and well thought out. But the puzzles as well, I thought weren't really puzzles. They either set up a puzzle and then it just solves it for you as part of the story, or it's just not really a puzzle because you just instantly know what to do and breeze through it.
Did you get to the game show robot at all?
Is that the one that needed souls for something? I'm trying to remember.
No, so you would know if it was. There's a section of the game that's one of my favourite bits where you meet a robot and he wants to kill you, but you sort of go through different challenges and he is pretending to be like a really cheesy 90s game show host. It's really weird. That was the point that turned the game for me. But I know that you didn't get to play a lot of it. You know, we've both been quite busy this past 2 weeks, but at least there was something that you enjoyed about it, I guess.
Yeah, I think if it was set up differently but kept the combat, I'd like it more. And also, you know, when we were talking about Cyber Shadow and we were saying how it plays like how platformers used to feel.
Yeah.
This looks like how 8-bit games used to look, rather than trying to make it look nice 8-bit. It just looks like an absolute turd.
One thing I would say though is that Undertale was made by one person.
Yeah, but so was Stardew Valley, and look at how nice that is.
Yeah, I'll give you that. Would you give it a Game Pass or a gameplay?
Oh, it's tough. I'd say gameplay, because if
just for the niche quality of it.
Yeah, because it's one of those games where it's quick enough to get into it that you'll know, you won't be wasting too much time before you go, this ain't for me.
You'll know within half an hour if you like it or not.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah, and then you can do a Harry and you can say, no, fuck this, never play it again.
And then install it 3 more times.
Then you can start your own podcast and then you can tell all the developers to fuck off. Now, I've got a bit of a different story to tell about Octopath Traveler. So you said Undertale was the least favourite game that you've played on Game Pass.
Yeah.
Do you want to know what I think about Octopath Traveler?
I swear to God, it better be your favourite game.
I think it is the best game that I've played in the last 5 years.
It's so good, isn't it?
Man, it's fucking incredible. I played about 15 hours of it. I've got 6 of the 8 Travellers because I'm taking my time with every single one of them, listening to all of their stories. The art style is incredible. I found myself taking so many screenshots of this game. The soundtrack is fucking phenomenal. I know that we talk about him every single podcast, but Joe, Joe, that listens to the podcast, I even got him to download it, and he's actually making an arcade cabinet with basically every single game up to PS3 era on it. He's put Octopath on it as well. He's been working on this thing for about 8 years. It's incredible. And he's a big JRPG fan, and he is just enamoured by this game as much as I am. Beautiful story, fantastic mechanics. I love the combat. I like that you can break the combat chain and you can have to find out weaknesses of different enemies. I love the fact that even if you know that you're not going to inflict damage on an enemy, you can still break their resistance and you can reset that active combat. It reminds me very much of Child of Light in that sort of sense. Yep. The combat mechanic. I think that the graphical style of the game is phenomenal. The world that it's in is phenomenal. Every story is great. Every NPC is fantastic. I do not have a negative thing about this game to say, apart from one thing, Shaun.
Right.
Why didn't I play this on the Switch? Why haven't I already completed this game?
I told you
Why has it taken me this long? So,
what?
Every single person that's listening to me talk about this game, go now, download this game, play it. It's phenomenal. It is breathtaking. It's not even a game. It's a work of art. It's genius. It is the best RPG I've played probably since Child of Light. Actually, I would say is the only game for me that comes close in terms of the original concept, the art style, the combat, and the story. It's pretty special.
Well, I was trying to think of how you would describe the art style, and there's so many different aspects to it. So it's
an 8-bit tilt screen.
That's the phrase I was trying to think of, where it's blurry around the edges, but it's also 3D. I'm pretty sure they use 3D models for some of the environments. Yeah,
so the models are 3D, the characters are 2D. It's isometric tilt shifted like the remake of Link to the Past. However, Link to the Past tilt shift, what they basically did was just put 2 blur filters at the top and bottom of the screen, whereas Octopath, it digitally tilt shifts everything, so it actually actively focuses and unfocuses certain things depending on what's happening in the scene. It's just perfect, and everyone should play this game. And I'm going to say it, Shaun, it's better than Sunset Overdrive.
Oh my fuck.
Yeah.
It's
the best. It's the best game I've played for a long time.
This is a groundbreaking moment in history right here.
It's made my top 5 of all time, Shaun. It's spectacular.
I never thought I'd see the day where Sunset Overdrive would be top.
No, it's knocked Sunset Overdrive off of my top 5 list.
Fucking hell. Oh, what?
It's a special game.
What? Who did you start as for your...
I started as Therion, the thief.
Ah, the thief. Okay.
Started as a thief, got the huntress, then I got the mage, then I got the scholar, then I got I forget what she's called because I've not really used the other 2 much because they're low level. I can't get over how good it is. And it's testament to it. It's going to be the first game in Game Pass or Play that I just carry on playing regardless. So, yeah, it's very good.
Awesome.
So no pressure, Shaun, but you've got to top that this week with the next game you're going to get.
Well, I've got one that I don't know if it'll top it because I never played it myself, but I think it will intrigue you, the sound of it.
Ooh. Okay.
Okay, so it's called Children of Mortar.
Oh, I've seen that.
And yeah, it's a roguelite. Well, it's got roguelite elements, but there's no permadeath, and basically what you do affects your family. So from what I can tell, it's basically you'll do a run with like one person, and then stuff you do in that run affects how the next playthrough with their relative works.
Ah, that sounds very
It actually sounds like it sounds like the sort of game that could solve a lot of my very recent roguelite ramblings. Yeah.
Yeah, which is why I'm hoping that Hades comes to Game Pass soon, because I want you to play Hades.
If there's anyone I trust to make me like a roguelite, it's Supergiant Games. They have not made a game I don't like yet.
There was a game that I picked for you, Shaun, but I told it to you before the podcast. What was the game?
It was Alice Madness Returns, which I've wanted to play for fucking years as well.
But I couldn't see it on my app, so I told you, and then I realised that it was on there. But, Shaun, Dirt 5.
Okay.
I wanted to play Dirt 5. I keep picking games that I know that you probably won't like, and this week I want you to play a game that I know that you will like. So
fair enough.
Play Dirt 5.
I will. I'll get that downloaded.
It's only fair, isn't it? It's only fair.
Maybe.
So they are the two games, so Children of Mortar and Dirt 5. So tune in 2 weeks' time to find out how they go. Now, you've only been waiting a week to find out the answers to last week's Game in 60 Seconds. I would just like to announce that we have a winner this week.
I know, I saw yesterday. I can't believe it. I can't believe mine got guessed instead of yours.
I know. Number one superfan. So I actually do want to shout out Paul. He's been following us now for about a month and a half. We found him by doing some promo on some Sea of Thieves stuff when Tales of the Tavern first started, and he got interested. Never listened to podcasts really, and he's now listened to every episode. We DM all the time. He's really active on Twitter. He even does some promotion for us, and he's a genuinely cool guy. And even his wife also emails us and DMs us, and we chat the three of us and stuff. It is really cool. And his username is the Real Sal Tyre. That's Tyre. We just helped him get over 100 followers on Twitter. He is a big Sea of Thieves player, and he's also a Scottish Highlander. So he's an awesome dude from the far north of Scotland. He's basically from beyond the wall. Awesome dude. But he got them right.
And now he needs to get a fucking life.
He does get a fucking life, Paul. So my clue last week was ask for the news nicely. And Shaun, what was yours?
Mine was Freddie Mercury took a dark turn.
And those two answers were Papers, Please and Killer Queen Black. So Paul and wife of Paul, both of you get a fucking life.
Wife of Paul?
Yeah, Paul wife. And now we've got some new clues. So, Shaun,
if we ever get to meet Paul in person, are we just going to literally address her as wife of Paul?
Paul wife.
Wife of Paul.
How do you do?
Nice to meet you.
So, do you want to do your clue first? Because it fucking broke me, Shaun.
I can do. It's a long one compared to all the short ones I've been doing recently. Well, I say long, it's still probably 10 seconds. Okay. That little...
It's like Game in 10 seconds.
Yeah. That little green man better be careful. He's got a fever, continuous cough, and lost his sense of taste and smell.
Oh, you've literally broken one of our rules.
I know. I didn't say the word, though.
You didn't.
I didn't.
You didn't. So, can you just go through that one again, please, Shaun? Because it's fucking so stupid.
Okay. That little green man better be careful. He's got a fever, continuous cough, and he's lost his sense of taste and smell.
Mine's not that good. That pavement's angry. That's my clue. That pavement is angry. So, Shaun, you've got an essay, and like always, my clue is just, what game is Harry thinking
I like
of?
to think you thought
ridiculous.
of that one while literally just you stood waiting for Shannon to come out the post office or something. You're just staring at the pavement hang on a minute.
I've got it. Actually, I came up with this one on the toilet 20 minutes before we recorded today, so that's the reality of it.
That's the reality of podcast recording. It's not all glam and awards.
I message you 20 minutes every single week to say, sorry mate, running a bit late, little one won't go to sleep. Every week. So Shaun, we are going to do Tales from the Tavern, but there's a slight difference this week, isn't there?
It's not really a tale.
So, it's not. No, we're not telling any stories this week. We haven't really played much Sea of Thieves because me and Shaun are fucking busy at the moment. However, there's been some cool Sea of Thieves news. Season 2 starts next week. So, Shaun, take it away.
Okay, so Sea of Thieves has won this year's Bafta for Evolving Game, and I'm just going to read out the nominations as well. So it was Sea of Thieves, obviously, Destiny 2 Beyond Light, Dreams Development Team, Fall Guys Development Team, Fortnite, and No Man's Sky. And obviously Sea of Thieves won out in the BAFTA.
And one thing I would just like to say is that they didn't win the SMEPA for Evolving Game.
No, so it's not
Awards.
quite as prestigious as us.
I would just like to say something and sort of shatter the illusion, Shaun. I'm not sure if you're aware.
Well, that we might not have actually won it, but we did.
Yeah, I don't think we actually did.
Nah, our name got said first, so it's ours.
So here's the story, right? Our name got called out live on the SMEPA Awards show. And then at the end of the awards show, he was going over the winners, and he didn't say our podcast name. He said a different podcast name. So I messaged him in the chat and said, did you just Steve Harvey us? Did you just say the wrong name and then you actually should have announced somebody else? And he said, no, I didn't Steve Harvey you. I said the wrong name the second time. You guys won the award. Don't worry.
Oh, okay.
So we've been going around, swinging our bollocks around. We're fucking award winning. We've been tweeting. We're an award winning podcast. We win awards. Hey, come and join in the award winning podcast, Gamers Watch. And I went on the SMEPA website last week, and our name's not on there. It's someone else's name, and not even the name of the one that he said in the stream. It's a third name.
Well, it was a three-way tie then.
No, because he said that we won.
Yeah, I still think it was us because he had in the live stream. He had the graphics ready of the winners,
and it circled
our name. So it was ready and done before the stream started. So I would have liked to think.
And we were in the chat, and he said the winner is Gamers Watch Podcast, and then everyone was like, "Congratulations, well done, dude." I'm convinced that we won.
I'd say that's enough evidence to say we actually won it.
Yeah, but it's a bit frustrating.
Nah, fuck it, we won it. We're award winning.
Yeah, we won. Fuck you. And we won the BAFTA for Best Evolving Podcast, so get fucked.
Anyway, back to the BAFTAs.
Yeah, back to Sea of Thieves.
I'm going to carry on my trend of potentially alienated entire Sea of Thieves player bases. I don't think it should have won this award.
I'm going to be honest with you,
I think
Shaun.
No Man's Sky should have got that.
I think No Man's Sky clearly should have won it. I think that it is daylight robbery that No Man's Sky
don't get me wrong, Sea of Thieves is miles better now than it was at launch. But it's more iteration than evolving.
And also, what I would just want to say is Sea of Thieves is miles better than No Man's Sky. It's so much more interactive and so much more fun. Much more easily accessible. Just better. However, No Man's Sky is clearly the better evolution of the game. No Man's Sky was Cyberpunk. Basically, what No Man's Sky has done is it's become Cyberpunk to The Witcher 3. Not the other way round. It has gone from being one of the worst games ever launched to being quite good.
Yeah, it's like so distinctly different to what it was at launch. Like, yeah, it's really different. Whereas Sea of Thieves, you can still, even though there is like a lot of stuff now, like the vaults and that, they are still essentially the base fetch quests that were at launch, sort of thing.
Sail here, fight the skeleton, go to there. Doesn't it look pretty?
Yeah, which is really fun.
Buy a parrot for £8. Yeah,
which is really fun, but they've iterated, not evolved. I think Sea of Thieves really they've evolved in some cases. Obviously, they've got the Reapers now and all that. But when I was looking at the awards, I was like...
Also, what I would like to say is that there's another game on there, Among Us, that didn't even get a sniff in Evolving Game. Among Us is the most streamed game of 2020. It's been out for 2 years, and no one even knew about it. And they're constantly changing that game, always adding new things in, allowing mod support, allowing active chat.
And also, why is Fall Guys on there? Haven't they just as far as I'm aware, because I haven't really played it much at all.
They just keep launching.
Yeah,
new
they just
seasons.
bring out new maps, but the
that's
actual
essentially
game
what they
doesn't
do.
change itself, sort of thing.
It's almost, Shaun. I mean, I'm gonna shatter the dreams of everybody that worked on Sea of Thieves. It's almost as if sometimes awards are pointless and meaningless and don't really mean much other than congratulating people that don't really need to be congratulated. Not in our case, because in our case we needed the award because we're award winning. But it's almost as if sometimes, maybe it doesn't matter that much. As Ricky Gervais quite beautifully put it at the Baftas, nobody fucking cares. It's just an award. Pick it up, walk away.
Do your little speech, fuck off.
Do your little speech and fuck off. So, yeah, I think it's scandalous that No Man's Sky didn't win that.
I remember, because I was looking at the nominations before the actual awards, and I was
like, oh, No Man's Sky.
yeah,
going to win this,
I literally
obviously.
done like in the next morning when I was looking at the winners, done like a...
I had already drafted a tweet to say thank you, like, congratulations to Hello Games. I was like, Sean Murray, congratulations on the win. I know that it's a month away, but well done. Haven't your team done
well? I was like, evolving game, Sea of Thieves. What?
I know. And that's not to take away the amazing work that the team at Rare have done with Sea of Thieves, because it is a very different game than it was 3 years ago. Hugely different in terms of content, but the game itself is pretty much the same.
Yeah, the base, they've iterated it to a point where it's fun, enjoyable and playable, whereas No Man's Sky is literally a completely different game and carries on being completely different games with each update.
No Man's Sky basically said like, oh, so we made a game, but people didn't like it, so we're going to delete all the source code and we'll just start again from scratch.
Added base building,
that's what they
added
did.
God knows what else, because I haven't played it in ages.
Active multiplayer, crews, freighter ships, sky battles, like you said, headquarter bases, active trading with players, clans. They've completely remodeled all the worlds, the actual environments, the worlds that you go onto are completely different. The actual mechanics of the game, it's no longer just go to this planet, dig up some resources, jump in your ship, go to the next planet. There's actually a story involved. Yeah, I think that they should have won it.
Yeah.
Actually, no. I know what game should have won it.
Don't.
Oh, no, it can't have done because it's not on the Google Play Store anymore, is it, Shaun?
Which, what? Pirate Paradise? Oh, Battle Balls.
We did a Halloween update and added Frankenstein.
Yeah, that fucking involved. Where's our award?
Yeah. Well, we've got one, mate. Smeek.
Yeah. We'll go for the Game Award next.
And we definitely won it. Yeah, we'll go for game that is better rated on Xbox Marketplace than Assassin's Creed Unity.
I found it as well. I found the link to it in the Marketplace.
It's still there.
It's still rated higher.
Oh. Right, we're putting that on Twitter after we record.
Paradise.
That's going up because it's update it like next week and then we'll nominate it for the BAFTAs next year.
Biggest length of time between updates. Paradise, 10 years.
Yeah. Hey, it's evolving game. Maybe the parrots, you add a dinosaur bit in at the start and you show that how dinosaurs evolved into birds, and then it technically is an evolving game. Yeah, exactly. So we're coming for your BAFTAs. Hold your fucking horses because we're on our way.
We're going to get you.
So yeah, a bit of a different Tales from the Tavern this week. We've just again alienated an entire audience of potential listeners.
And also, if anyone from Rare is somehow listening, to prove that you deserve this award, I want to see you do a No Man's Sky and add base building to Sea of Thieves, so I can have my own outpost with my crew.
Yes. Oh my god, that would be amazing.
Oh, it needs to happen.
Here's the thing then. Let's talk a bit more Sea of Thieves and what they could do evolving the game. I know straight away that base building would be immense. It would be phenomenal. You could take an island and have it as your own, and then you could defend the island and build towers and turrets and cannons, and you could recruit NPCs to help you defend the island. That would be wicked.
Your own little
fun.
fort.
But I've got another idea. Submarines. Nuclear Alpha Soviet submarines.
Oh man, you know how much those pirates love their submarines.
Oh yeah. You're a time-travelling Soviet from the Cold War, and you go back with your nuclear sub and you take over Sea of Thieves. No, a genuine thing is I think it would be quite cool if one player could take over a ghost ship and then you became Davy Jones, and like when Thanos was added to Fortnite and everybody had to kill Thanos, is that one person like on the map is the ghost ship of Davy Jones, and you have to like hunt down other ships in your Flying Dutchman and like track people down and kill them. That could
be how they evolve the Reaper's emissary. So Flameheart eventually like fully takes over them, and whenever you join the Reapers, you become a ghost pirate and you get a ghost ship and you have to hunt people down.
The whole server then comes after you. How cool would that be?
That'd be amazing. That needs to happen.
And then it'll just be me in my sloop fishing.
While I'm firing at this ghost ship that's coming towards
sail
us.
Back, and we'll be on a tall tail. I'll be fishing, and you'll be just jumping around like, where did I leave the totem? And then we'll just watch them sail past.
But another with the I was literally just thinking as well with the base building. If it could be you have your own like fort, so like the skeleton forts, and I'm trying to think of how the mechanics would work. If you made it like an emissary, so you make your own forts, the longer your fort stands, the higher level you go, and the higher level you are, the more treasure is worth when you put it in your fort. So say like there was an hour timer and you put one chest in there. If you keep that chest in there for the entire hour and your fort doesn't get blown to bits or it gets stolen, it turns into like 3 chests.
The only thing that I could see not working with that is that if you migrated to a new server and someone had the same island
that's
as
the only
you,
problem.
Maybe then what it would have to be is that if you migrate into a server, it would have to put you into a server that nobody else has that island as their
I'm sure
base.
that'd be easy enough.
But that should be easy enough. But there has to be a way to incorporate base
building.
building.
That is what's called evolving a game. Not going, we've got 4 more colours of Megalodons now.
Yeah. There are some cool enemies that I would like to see. I'd love to see a Davy Jones added to the game. I genuinely would.
Yeah,
I think that would
Flameheart's
be amazing.
Getting closer.
And he could like board your ship. He could like board your ship and like, tear down your flag, like tear like all your sails and stuff, and rip the boat to pieces. I think another cool thing would be if there were sirens and it actively steered your boat towards rocks. Would be quite cool. So they could be like dotted around, and if you hear the sirens call, you would have to like sail the other way, and it would like drag you in and bring your boat to the rocks.
There is rumours of mermaids being added at some point, because there's been a lot of like mermaid hints recently in different updates. So that would be cool. If they do a Davy Jones, he needs to have the Scottish accent like in Pirates of the Caribbean. Cause that would
Maybe they could hire Paul and Paul.
That would be hilarious, because I love Davy Jones.
Imagine if we just managed to randomly get Paul to be the voice of Davy Jones in Sea of Thieves.
I love that.
We'd definitely win a real award then. Oh, by the way, talking of awards, we were going to submit our show to the British Podcast Awards. Why didn't we do that, Shaun?
Because they were going to charge us 30 fucking quid, and we ain't rich. We're award winning, but we ain't rich.
Made of money? £30 to have someone go, they're just talking about pooing themselves. Next.
Our award was...
Obviously we weren't going to do
Our award was digital, not physical, so we didn't even have a piece of gold to sell to afford the 30 quid.
I know. And, you know, as much as we like to say that we're an award-winning podcast, that ain't paying the bills. Actually, the opposite. This is using my electricity. This is literally taking the bills. So next year, maybe we can save up £15
We'll launch a Patreon, and in the description we'll put part of the proceeds are going towards paying for award entries.
Yeah, and also, just to any of our American listeners who don't know what a pound is, I don't fucking care. So, shall we move on to Outriders?
Yes.
So, big news, a couple of weeks ago dropped. Outriders was coming day 1 to Game Pass. Now, it's not a game I would have ever bought. I've played Destiny, I've played Borderlands, I've played... what else? Diablo. I've played those games. You know, they're good. They're okay. Me and Shaun, we played Destiny 2 for 50 hours, maybe? About that.
I think it was a bit more than that. We really went in on it in the first few months of launch. Because we played with Tom as well.
Maybe it was about 75 hours.
I'd say it was close to that. We got to the end.
Yeah, we got to the end, and I think we got to maximum level, and then it was obviously our light that we had to increase. But I didn't see any interest in Outriders, and then they announced it's on Game Pass, so I thought it would be rude not to play the game.
Yeah.
Now, the first thing I am going to say is there has been some horrendous server issues, and it goes back actually to the same problem that Avengers had at launch, and that is also a Square Enix game.
Okay.
There were issues with the servers, kicking people out, no matchmaking between consoles and PC. Big problems. However, It had 100,000 people concurrently playing on Steam. It's currently the 5th most downloaded game on Gamepass, and Sony players, I think that they make up 87% of physical purchases, which obviously isn't a big deal because no one's really buying physical at the moment because of lockdowns. But it's nice to know that Sony players are still going out and playing and buying the game. People were like, haha, Xbox only did 17%. Well, yeah, duh, it's on Game Pass. Obviously, they wouldn't buy the game. So I played the prologue. Wasn't anything special. But then the prologue ended, and then you get your superpowers. And I picked Pyromancer, and I'm having so much fun. So you can play as 4 different types of character. Pyromancer and Trickster are the main 2 types. The Pyromancer is the class that I've gone for, and essentially what it means is that you can control fire, and you can blow people up, and you can set like fire walls going towards people, and you can like drag people towards you and cause them to like burn up. And Trickster is the other class that people go with, and the Trickster can teleport, and he can stab people and then go back in his little wormhole, and he can trick people going around the map. And then you've got 2 more. You've got the Technomancer, who is he's like a medium to long range player. Relies on technology, relies on long range weapons, and then you've got the Devastator, and you basically just run up to people and punch their faces off. So I went with the Pyromancer, and I'm currently about 10 hours in, and I've said it a few times on Twitter, and I've said it a few times on Facebook. The only way that I can describe this game is it's the best of Destiny, it's the best of Gears of War, and it's as if Destiny and Gears of War adopted a Borderlands baby and made it play Diablo. So you've got the world building, like in Destiny, where you're on a new planet, a new world, and you've got a narrative that's in the background that you're actively working towards. However, unlike Destiny, the story actually makes sense. So that's a positive going towards it. You've then got the Gears of War style combat where it's very cover based. However, you can't just sit behind one wall and hope that they just stand there, because the AI is really intelligent. So they'll actively flank you. The bosses, man, they don't just stand around waiting for you to be bullet sponging them. They chase after you and they come for you hard. I was stuck for a long time because this captain would just come up to me and repeatedly punch me in the face and set me on fire. So he was tough. But then you've also got the Borderlands aspect where you've got some ridiculous weapons. You've got not just raiders and bosses, you've also got like alien creatures that you're trying to defeat. And it's very Diablo in a sense that it's a big sort of like crawling, sprawling, dungeon-based looter-shooter. I'm just having a lot of fun. Say what you will about the servers. I've not had any issues personally myself. I'm just very much enjoying it, and it's a game that I never ever would have bought myself. However, if I play it for 50 hours and it goes off of Game Pass and I'm still enjoying it, I'll buy it. It's really good. It's a really good game. Shaun, I know that you'd probably like it as well, because I know that you like the Gears of War combat style, and we did enjoy Destiny 1 and 2, so...
I love Diablo as well. Dungeon crawlers I absolutely love. I can't get enough of them. So, and actually Diablo, do you remember Diablo 3, all the server issues they had at launch? They had the, was it error 38, or there was an error number, and that was a nightmare. I've been reading about that in the book that I'm reading, Jason Schreier's book, and I can't fucking remember what it's called. I think it's called Blood, Sweat, Pixels. And it basically goes through the development of, I think, 13 games there are, 10 to 13 games. And Diablo 3 is one of them. And it says about all the, like, how the team was basically just shitting it when they heard... Well, actually, it was... the team was at the launch party, and they were, like, obviously all celebrating the launch. And then all the server issues happened at launch. And basically the technical team had to sort of go to the launch party and say to them, like, no one can play this, by the way.
Yeah, it wasn't great. I mean, to be fair to the Outriders team, they've been really on it, trying to resolve these issues. Obviously, Twitter is a cesspit of morons and fuckfaces, so everybody's been getting abused. I was going to say, the
death threats have come out.
But actually... Oh yeah, there's been several death threats that I've seen, and every time I see them I report the page. And do you know what's really nice about Twitter is they closed our account down for spam, right? And I'm reporting people saying to devs that I want to kill you and I'm going to find out where you live and murder you. And guess what happens when I report their tweets?
They get off
Shaun?
scot-free?
Yeah, nothing happens. I had one guy, I watched him tweet multiple times over the space of about 10 minutes, and I'm going to say a word that I don't like to use a lot, saying, retards, I'm going to kill you. I know where you live. I'm going to fucking kill you, you retards. Get your game to work. I reported that tweet, and within 5 minutes, I had a response back from Twitter to say, we do not feel that this tweet breaks our code of conduct.
Wow.
So that, I really do feel sorry for the Outriders
Twitter's
team at the
got
moment.
some
But
very poor code of conduct if that passes
They do
their moral
indeed.
tests.
But honestly, I've been playing Outriders now for probably about 10 hours, and I am having fun. And just a few points on the numbers of people playing it. Outriders, on day one, had 100,000 people playing it just on Steam alone concurrently, and that is more than Borderlands 2 and 3 ever got at one time throughout their entire history of those games. And Avengers, at its peak, only had 32,000 people, and that was on the first day. And Avengers lost 97% of its player base on Steam, Sony, and Xbox within 2 weeks. So, games as a service, I fucking hate them, but I really hope that Outriders does ride through this and does come out on the other side, because it's a genuinely interesting game with really, really good mechanics at the core of it, and the gunplay is phenomenally good. So anybody listening to this, give it a go. What's the worst that can happen is that you don't like it on Game Pass and you uninstall it. That's the worst.
Does it have any like microtransactions in that, like Avengers, or
Not that
is
I
it
can
more
see.
like Destiny where
I've not come across any.
That's good then. It probably will do well and survive then, because Avengers, it is pretty much the microtransactions and the fact that there's zero end game content that has killed
And also
it.
the gameplay just isn't engaging. The combat is terrible. You just run up to people and you bash X over and over and over and over again constantly. Whereas this has actual tactics to it. And I'm playing solo at the moment, and I'm really having to think about each combat scenario. I can't just sit and hope that people like just shoot at me. You have to run to different covers. You have to use your abilities. You have to pick people off. You have to find the snipers and get them early so they don't pick you off. You have to run into people who are hand-to-hand combat and gun them down quickly. You have to really recognise the danger straight away and then get right in there and get stuck in. So I'm really enjoying it. And Shaun, I think you should give it a go if you do have some time.
I'm gonna have to find some time to get on it. Or maybe I'll do it in our mid-season break.
Because we are going to take a little break, aren't we?
Well, sort of. We're taking a Game Pass break, but there's literally
we're going to take a 4-week break.
There's going to be
from
an
Game
episode
Pass
each week still because of the unannounced P project.
But we are going to have some time off from Game Pass, so that'll be interesting.
I'll get it played then, as well as Pokemon Snap.
As well as Pokemon Snap, and as well as Monster Hunter Rise.
Yeah. And Crash Bandicoot.
And your Game Pass game Dirt 5.
Well, that I'll play this week.
And we'll find out next week as well what our wildcard choice is. We put the tweet up. We just got to find out what it is yet. So, a lot to look forward to. And I really think we nailed it, this podcast. I think we went through quite a lot.
I think we got quite a bit done. We alienated the Sea of Thieves community. We completely devalued
I liked the game.
Rare's award win compared to ours.
I liked the game as well.
Fuck me.
That doesn't happen all the time. And also, we announced that we might not actually be award winners. So it's been very successful.
Yeah, but we're definitely award winners.
We are. And I think that's a good place to leave it. We are definitely award winners. Like I said at the start of the show, if you do enjoy Gamers Watch Podcast, please do tweet us, follow us on Twitter, DM us, find us on Facebook, on Instagram. We're on all of those networks. And if you do listen to this podcast on Apple Podcasts, please do rate us 5 stars if you enjoy us, because it really does help. And we've been getting some really genuinely nice messages recently, and it's sort of broken my cold, dead heart. So,
and that's how you get the Octopath Traveler review. Break cold, dead heart, get a good review.
That's how you do it. So from now on, if people want to hear good things about games that we play, tweet us some love, and it'll get Harry all gushy. And we'll leave it there. Gushy gushy. Bye.